Hi everyone, it's David Paul speaking from VectorVest. This evening I'm going to continue my treatment of two building shares. I'm looking at Barratt, and I spoke about Barratt in the blog that I do, vectorvest.co.uk/welcome. And I spoke about it in a little video that I did about this time last week. This evening I'm looking at both Barratt and Redrow, and my objective here is to try and put together the fundamental position of these companies with the technical position of these companies, and that's the major VectorVest edge. It shows people how to go about putting together technicals and fundamentals, and it's the only program in the world that I've ever seen do this. So let's look at Barratt's. Barratt's is trading at 409. It was up 5 pence on the day, which is 1.36%. Now, we believe that the share is worth £6.39. The first VectorVest metric is relative value. And on a scale between 0 and 2, the relative value is 1.62, which is compelling. The relative safety measures the safety and the predictability of the earnings stream. On a scale between 0 and 2, that's 1.37, which is excellent. The VST is 1.36, which puts together relative value, relative safety, and relative timing. It's on a hold recommendation, and the stop loss is £3.85. Now, last week I advised that we wait for the hold to turn into a buy before we look at the share. I also suggested that maybe some very brave people should consider buying it below £4, and that in fact was a really good thing to do. Now, the other share that I want to look at has got very similar fundamentals. Redrow. Now, Barratt is a FTSE 100 company. Redrow is a smaller building company, trading at £3.17. We believe that it's worth £5.14. There's a lot of air between those two numbers. The relative value is also compelling at 1.62. Relative safety 1.39. On a scale between 0 and 2, that's excellent. Relative timing 1.08. The share is going sideways, and VST 1.36. It's also on a hold recommendation with the stop loss at £3.05. Now, I want to try and have a look at the technical position of these shares. I think I've opened the charts before. Here we've got Barratt, and Barratt has pulled back in a 5-wave continuation pattern. This is the pattern that I pointed out last week. It in fact broke and came back and kissed that particular resistance line, and I felt that it would find support somewhere down around there last week. That's in fact what happened. It fought with the top line defining this wedge for 2 days. There's nothing magic about the line, but lots and lots of day traders just use that line to take their profits. There's nothing magic about it. That's just where the orders were. It would seem to have broken that on Friday, and I'll let you into a little trade secret now, but my own proprietary target on this is my own construction. You won't see it anywhere else, but that's pointing to this thing getting up towards £4, the old high again of £4.50, £4.55. If I put our valuation on there, we can see that our valuation's right up there, and that's one hell of a lot of fresh air. Okay, so I still think that this investment has an awful lot of merit. Stop loss is down around here. Now, one thing that I will introduce you to, which I haven't talked about here before, is momentum divergence, and in this case reverse divergence. I use the MACD, but it applies to any technical indicator. The MACD you can find on VectorVest just by going technical analysis and just clicking on it. It's there. There you go. Okay. I just highlight that box, and there's the MACD. And what we can see, ladies and gentlemen, is that the price has made a higher low to there, but the indicator has made a falling low. Now, that's what's called reverse divergence, or some people call it hidden divergence. My very good friend at ElliotWave.com, Jeffrey Kennedy, calls it a slingshot. I was so enamored with the pattern when I first discovered it that I in fact named it after a famous Hollywood actress. She then went on to sue me for misuse of her name, so I don't call it that anymore. Nevertheless, that's a very strong reverse divergence pattern, which is a high probability setup. So a lot of evidence, both fundamental and technical, to suggest that Barratt's is on its way. You must make up your own mind for yourself. Remember, we live in a probabilistic environment. Nobody knows what's going to happen next for sure. If there was no risk, there would be no reward, and we'd all have to get jobs or something silly. Okay, so there is risk, and that risk needs to be managed. Many people will tell you that there are risk-free 100% trades. That's just rubbish. But nevertheless, what we've done here is we put the technical situation, which looks good, together with the fundamental situation as defined by value, and relative safety. And I believe that that pushes the hit rate of the trade up towards the 80% level. Just remember, if you're right 80% of the time, you're wrong 20% of the time. On the next trade, you don't know whether it's one of the 80 or one of the 20. So the risk has to be managed. It's there and it's real. Let's have a look at Redrow. And if I just go down here, I've got both of them loaded. There's Redrow. MACD already loaded. And we have a 5-wave pattern here, which is not a falling wedge. It's more like a triangle, I think. And nevertheless, there's 5 waves in it. It got rejected at that top line defining the little triangle here on Friday, and that's not surprising. Folks, the intraday traders just, in fact, took their profits up there. That's what happened here. So we've got this support level, which seems to be holding. And I have, if I blow this up a little on the yearly chart, it's sitting on my magic 89-day moving average, which I put on everything. And we've also got this reverse divergence, which has been setting up for one hell of a long time. I draw it from there. Many people in my seminars that I used to do in a previous life used to say, well, where do you start it from? And I probably didn't give them a great answer to that because I've been looking at these things for the last 30 years. So it's a little intuitive. And here we got this. Price is rising. It's above my 89-day average. The indicator's falling. We are on a... I put up in the recommendation, we're on a hold recommendation, and folks, I think that if you're not in, I think that just wait for that hold recommendation turn into a buy recommendation. If the trade is going to work, then that should happen during the course of this week. If you have a look at the front page of VectorVest, you'll see that we're showing 2 green lights, a green light in the buy column and a green light in the buy-sell column. Now that's saying that the price is speeding up day over day, week over week, and that the number of shares rising is speeding up day over day, week over week. And that's a really good signal. We had a confirmed call back up on Friday, and I think that those 2 investments of Barratt's at around this level and Redrow at around this level are high probable investments, but as I've said quite a few times, the risk needs to be managed. Thanks very much. David Paul here.